I think that curiosity is an important point. I think asking questions, a lot of questions, about things, looking at things that maybe aren't used to being looked at. That kind of curiosity and taking moments to ask questions and think about why things are the way they are is such a satisfying thing when it works out, and it doesn't always work out, but I think asking those questions and looking at what's going on around you and figuring out how to respond to it are things that feed those kinds of creative results in the end and opportunities. As a consumer of everything, I feel like sometimes I'm putting sights and sounds and ideas and materials on the shelf in my mind. I'm not as afraid of failure as I used to be. I am in some ways afraid of failing, but mostly when it comes to creative things, I'm less concerned about the failing. I find it very inspiring and satisfying seeing how other people came up with wonderful ideas that are just delightful, and knowing that I probably wouldn't have seen it that way. I probably wouldn't have come up with that on my own. That inspires me to think of my own creative process in a different way. I kind of came to realize that this is who I am, and that it's not really about the end result at all. I'm not doing this because I want there to be a robot. I built the robot not for a show at all. I built the robot because I wanted to build a robot and because I wanted to experiment with making something out of foam like this. And I also didn't have any puppets with levers and mechanisms. So I built him because of the process. The outcome was irrelevant. I'm always very proud of my students when they give their puppet shows. Watching them and sitting back and watching them give their shows and how much they love it because they've invested so much time and effort and hope into this. And now they get to realize that they're performing for a bunch of kids and they're showing off their puppet and meeting their families when their families come to see the show and how proud they are and excited is one of the most rewarding parts of what I do now as a teacher, watching them enjoy the fruits of their labor. Sometimes I do things, I don't know, just because it will be memorable it'll be silly. There's not, the world is a pretty serious and scary place, and having a bit of silliness every now and then is kind of fun.